Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel, and the question for today is longest increasing path in a matrix. So, given a matrix m cross n with m cross n integers matrix, we have to return the length of the longest increasing path. Not just any path, it has to be increasing as well. Okay, not just the longest path, like it can be this all right, but it has to be increasing. So yeah, we have to return like that, and it's given that we can move in only 4 direction. What it mean by direction is standing at any point we can travel either upwards or here or here or here. Since these two positions are not valid for this one, so we cannot travel. Alright, so that's the question, and we cannot move outside or out diagonally or outside the boundary. I hope that is clear. Now let's see the example that is given to us over here. So here this is the matrix, and the longest increasing part given to us is 1, 2, 6, 9, and that is of length 4. So we have returning the length. Alright, so yeah, I hope this example is clear. Then why can't we give 1, 8 and not path is valid, 1, 6, 8, and yeah, it's of 3 length only because we cannot include 4. And yeah, so I hope this problem is clear and this example as well. Now let's see for the constraint that are given to us over here. This constraint will help us determine something. Alright, yeah, let's see. So the m stands for matrix.length, n for that, and both will range from 1 to 200. So given a singular matrix to 200. Alright, and the value would be an integer value. Okay, it can be maxent as well. So it can range from 0, it can go up to maxent. Alright, I hope it's clear. Now let's see how we are going to solve this problem. So let's see how we are going to make a code, and this is the example that I have taken, and it's given in the question only. So yeah, let's see. So we can agree to anything from constraint as well. Just one thing, that it cannot be a matrix with size 0. It should be 1, or it will range up to 200. Alright, that's all we get from the constraint, nothing else. So yeah, let's see. So one such approach what comes to one's mind would be just go to every point and start traversing it. Start traversing the matrix from here. When I say start traversing, what I mean by that is search in the all possible directions. That is I plus 1 comma j, I comma j plus 1, I minus 1 comma j, and I comma j minus 1. That is all the 4 directions that we have over here. Alright. Yeah, so go at any point and we start for looking for this point and this point and this point. All right, so if they are less than that, that is we have an increasing subsequence, that is the current position value is less than the position now we are at. All right, so if that's the case, that is it's an increasing sequence, then we move to that point and we search again its 4 borders. All right, now the problem with this approach is, no doubt the answer will come, but the problem with this approach would be that it would make use of some computations that we have calculated the result for. Alright, what I mean by that is, suppose when we are here, let's say when we are at position here, alright, and we have computed its result, like from 6 to 8 we can go, and we have computed its result. So whenever we are at this position and we go up, we again have to compute for this position. But if while traversing we have earlier computed for this computation as well. So yeah, so that will make some solutions that come again and again. So what we for the coding term point of perspective, we call it as reoccurring things. All right, so we have to compute again and again. One such solution, ideal for all these cases, is the dynamic programming one, in which we don't have to make all these computations again and again and we store the result. All right, so that's how the intuition works, and that's how we get onto the dynamic programming approach. I hope it's clear. And yeah, so it's nothing but it's just a recursive algorithm with some memorization. Yeah, that's all. The question is only that. All right, so the approach, ideal approach would be that for every point we will create one DP matrix and we will store its maximum length that we can get from here. So whenever we are at that point, we see that if we have calculated its results or not. If we have calculated, we will just return that value, and if we have not, we will compute it for it. That's all. This will help us to get the result much faster. All right, so yeah, that's the approach. The approach is very simple. It's the basic approach only, but we have added memorization to it. That's all. The basic approach was like to go at every point and compute the result. With the memorization, what we are doing is for every result computed, we are just storing them in our DP table. All right, and after that, and if we come at that point again and we have its value computed, so we just return that value. All right, that's all for this algorithm. It's nothing, it's not a lengthy algorithm or it's like difficult one. It's just recursion plus some memorization. Why memorization? To don't calculate the results again and again, because if we have calculated once. So yeah, that's why. I hope the approach is clear to everyone. Now it would be much more clearer when we see the code for this problem. All right, so now don't waste any time and let's just see the code for this problem. So yeah, let's see the code for this problem. So I've written the code over here. The code is as follows. All right, I've taken two variables, n and m, for the length that would be given to us, matrix length, and yeah, and these are the direction variables, that is in which direction we'll move I, j, according to that, and that's a basic standard procedure. No need to explain for that. So yeah, now let's see. The n and m will store the length from I as well as j index, and we have a maximum. This is our DP array. Basically I've named it path. You can name it whatever you like, but it's a DP array and it would have all the positions that we have for that, and we will just return the maximum value that we get while traversing it, alright, or while filling the values, alright. So yeah, so what we'll do is, as we declare the DP table, it's always in Java, it's initialized with 0, alright. So I don't think I need to point it out. Most of you know this point. So it's initialized with 0. If you want initialize, you can initialize with -1, as we do in our general DP questions as well. So alright, now let's see. We are going to traverse that array completely, and we are going to find the path, either the value that is present at that position, either the maximum calculated so far, or the value that we are going to calculate. Alright, so yeah, this calls to my helper function. This is the main function over here. So yeah, I already told you the array is initialized with 0. So if it's not 0, that means the path has been computed for that point. And if it's computed, then we have to simply return that path, or we haven't to perform any computation. And now, if it isn't computed, so what we do is, we initialize the maximum to 0, and for every direction, we just get the direction and we see if it's valid or not. If it's a valid direction, we just continue, and if it's not, we just skip. Alright, so if it's not a valid position, in this case it just continue. What I mean by continue is, it will just move to the another direction, alright, because we have to traverse in 4 directions, so one of them obviously would be something, alright. So only if we are present at this position, this position, this position, this and this position, only then some of the points won't be, that would be according to that. So yeah, alright, now let's see further what we are doing here. Just we're going to find the maximum path again, alright, and the value would be 1 plus the path we get, alright. So 1 plus, because when we are at that point, we will take it as a singular path, because we will take this point as well as path, and which is of length 1, alright. I hope that's clear as well. So it would find the path again, because the point is valid, so it will go and compute. If it's computed, it will simply return this value over here, and it will calculate maximum, and it would store that value for that path. And after that, as the computations are proceeded, it will return. So yeah, so initially how the algorithm works, it goes at this point, he checks if this is a valid move. Valid move is like it's not a boundary, okay, but it will check that whether the value is less than or it's increasing or not. If it's increasing, yeah, it will move it, again it will move it, and so on. In the first computation, many of the values would be calculated in the path array, alright. In the second computation, then it would be it's calculated, okay, it's calculated, okay, now it will move to this point, then again it will calculate. Like this the algorithm will work, and yeah, it will return the value. Now let's try to submit it and see what's happened. As you can see, it's accepted. So if you have any doubt regarding this code, you can ask me in the comment section, or if you have any problems related to anything else, you can also type that in the comment section as well. And if you really like this video, please press the like button or upvote it, and share it among your friends, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.